Ya me conecté. Ya.
¿Dónde soy yo acá? Ay, acá es que como que dice sereño.
¿Dónde tenemos la fábrica de lápices?
La fábrica de lápices, acá hay uno. Alejandro.
Good afternoon to you all. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for making up the space for this new webinar we're going to start working with today. I'm sure you all can hear me perfectly. And if you do, could you please just say hello in the chat? Once again, same recommendations as usual. Turn off your cameras and turn off your microphones as well. This is in order for us to be able to have a more fluid communication. So with no further waiting on anyone else, we already have 46 participants, and we already have our webinar speaker for today. I'm going to introduce her to you. Her name is Kaithie Ramírez Correa. She holds a BA in bilingual education from UNICA. As also, she has a specialization in translation from Universidad del Rosario, and she holds also a master's degree in education and technology from Universitat Oberta de Catalunya. She is currently the educational technology professor at UNICA, and she manages the edition of GIST, Education and Learning Research Journal from the same institution. She has more than 8 years of experience as a professor, and in her free time, she also works for the ASOCOPY board she's also a member of the board of ASOCOPY. So thank you, Kaithie, very much for your participation. We are looking forward for your presentation. I'm sure that what we are going to hear and receive from you today is exactly what we have been looking for in these 2 months or almost 3 now, in regards to what exactly is it that we have to do in our classes, taking into consideration this new modality that we were just like thrown into because of these conditions that we are dealing with these days. So thank you very much, Kaithie. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jair. Well, thank you everyone who's connected today in this webinar. I'm going to share my screen so you can see what we're doing today.
¿Ya metió? No. Como descargar Zoom. ¿Acá? ¿También?
Once again, so if you could please, before you actually start listening to the conversation, to the webinar, could you please turn off your microphones? Thank you.
Well, welcome everyone to this webinar, Beyond Digital Class Tools, Planning for an Effective Practice in the Online Class. As Jair said, I work for Institución Universitaria Colombo-Americana UNICA, and I am also part of the board of directors of ASOCOPY. Okay. Today, well, this webinar is going to be very practical, so I will ask you to use your cell phones and any other device that you have available, okay? If you want, you can contact me afterwards. This is my email, kaithie.ramirez@unica.edu.co. Well, today we're gonna have something very interesting. It's going to be kind of a class. So you will be kind of my students. So I want you to participate during this short activity. And after that, we're gonna have a little talk on some resources that you can use in your classes. So let's start. I will ask you a very quick question. I don't know if you maybe recognize these logos. If you do, just write in the chat or just have a thumbs up with your chat things. So let me see, where is the chat? I cannot see it. Okay. Well, yes, you say Drive, Dropbox, Drive, exactly. So I'm sure that all of you use this every day, at least Google Drive. Well, I use Google Drive, Dropbox, and iCloud, this one which is iCloud. But we use it normally, but we don't know exactly what it is. So we're gonna see what these clouds are. So the technical term, it's cloud computing, if you maybe know or not. So before we start with the other part of this mini class, I want you to go with your cell phones and go to menti.com and put this code in this part, okay? So I'm going to launch this part. So maybe you can see it. Let's see how many of you can make it. www.menti.com. And the code is 180222. So we have 3 questions here. What do you think cloud computing is? Is it something that is in the clouds and we access through internet, access data and programs over the internet, or it's an application for storage and computing resources? So very fast, how many of you can answer these questions? Well, this question actually. Ooh, you see, we have many answers. 1, 3, 10, very good. Give me more answers. Come on, come on, come on. 12, very good. 3. Oh my God. Who can give me more? Give me more answers, please.
We have 80 participants. I guess all of us should participate there.
Yeah, we need to have a lot of participation in this part. This is very easy. Okay, some people in the chat say 1, others 3. So I'm going to just close in one moment because we don't have a lot of time for this. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, okay. 28 people and 4 more, 3 more. Okay. My God. Okay, okay. 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, okay. All right, so let's stop here. So almost everyone answered that it's an application for storage and computing resources. Yes, but the right answer is 5. This is the second option. Accessing data and programs over the internet is not just the application, but it's more than that. So let's see what we have. Let's go back. And I'm going to tell you some information, like very important information before we understand what cloud computing is, okay? So it started long ago. So many of you may think that the cloud computing started like 5 or 10 years ago, but not necessarily. The idea started in 1963. And we have in this year that the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency in the United States developed a project in which they have a computer that could be used by 2 or more people. This was a very, very primitive cloud. So they developed this idea of having that people could access a computer from different parts, okay? Later on, in 1970, the meaning of virtualization was developed, in which they created a machine, a virtual machine that could be accessed remotely. Then we have in the late 90s where the cloud, now the term cloud was used for the first time, and it was the term to refer of the use of a storage from a provider and the user. So this combination of things. And then we have the early 2000s. So in this part, we have Amazon. I know that you may know of Amazon. Amazon started a project or a business, let's say, that they wanted to use the space that they have in their servers. So they had the idea of renting that space that they have in their servers to other websites and companies, okay? So we have this integration of or access to remote things from computers like the ones that you have. So that is the cloud. The cloud is not something that is in the air and it's not something that we think it's like invisible. Actually, the cloud is something visible and something physical. It exists. You could touch it. So I have an image here of what servers look like, okay? Well, servers of big companies like Amazon or Google. So imagine that the cloud, it's just a metaphor in which we refer to the access remote of information from the computer that you have right now to a computer, a real computer that is in a server in the United States, in Europe, in, I don't know, Australia. So that is the cloud computing. So you are accessing a computer from your house, a computer that is not in your house, okay? So let's see a little bit more. I want you to please access this website. This is a video, a very short video, in which you have to answer some questions, okay? So you have the video and you will see some questions while you play the video, okay? It is really, really important to answer the question, because if you do not answer it, you won't be able to continue playing the video, okay? So give me a second. I'm going to share the URL. I'm going to do it in the chat. Wait a minute, because my computer is kind of slow. Oh my God, something happened with my computer. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we're going to clarify all these strange terms in a moment. So I want you to watch the video and we're going to like have a wrap up. There we go. So in the chat, it's the URL. So please go to the chat and click on that part. Let me know that you access the video. Give me something in the chat, write yes or no, please, so I know that you are accessing. Thank you very much. Thanks. Perfect. Good. So 1 minute to watch the video, very fast. Just for you to, like a reminder, if you do not answer the question, the video will stop, okay? So you need to answer and then you continue. Some people are saying that they just finished with the video. So like 5 more seconds, let's say. Okay, let's stop there. So I need one volunteer to answer the first question that was, what's cloud computing? It was the first option or the second? Who can tell me? Any volunteer? Activate your microphone. Someone that wants to, okay, some people say first. There you go, first. Very good. Yeah, that was the answer, exactly. The delivery of IT resources via the internet. So that is the first definition for the what's cloud computing. Very good. For the second question, what's the benefit of cloud computing? Who can remember? Number one. Okay, number two, number one, number two. Okay. So it's the access of services like computing power, storage, and databases. Very good. And the last question was kind of open. So you could have any answer, let's say. So a possible answer would be like the access to broad range of technologies. Very good. Exactly. Very good. So it was kind of easy, right? I think so. So just to have a little wrap up of this part, remember that the cloud, I'm sorry, what happened? Oopsie, have a problem here. So the cloud, the word cloud is just a metaphor for the remote access to a computing service. Basically, the access to a remote computer. That's the cloud, okay? And of course, all of us use the cloud. All of us are using the cloud. From the moment that you have your Gmail accounts signed with your smartphones, when you access a file that is shared, right away, you are using the cloud. So this is kind of part of our everyday. Okay, so don't forget about that. So for our last part of this mini class, I want you to access this URL. I'm going to share with you this, this URL in the chat. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, so it is going to be very simple. In the chat, you have the URL. You will have this, this document open, and it's just the evaluation. How did you feel in the exercise? The one with the cloud computing. The words that you consider: happy, interested, I don't know, all the words that you want to include. And the second question, was the exercise useful? Just yes. Okay. Very good. We are having a lot of answers here. Interested, confident, geek, engaged. Very good. Excellent. Give me more. All the words that you want to include. Let's give my mother more space. Excellent. Engaged. Very good. Engaged. Very good. Interested. Enthusiastic, excited, very interested, good, interested, confident, curious. Fantastic. Active. Let's give more space for other people to answer if they want. Okay. Motivated, clever, strange, okay. Unhappy. curious about the tools video. Okay. Okay, if you have here, oh, if you have. Very, very nice. Very interesting answers. Excellent. Cool. Let's give more spaces for someone who wants to write more. Great, great. Okay, very good. So I have plenty of answers here. As you can see in the screen, many people are interacting with this document. I know it was kind of fast, but it's because of the time. I apologize for that. So let's stop there. That was my mini class. So as you could see in that exercise, this is something that I do with my students at Unica. I teach technology, and I teach them about very strange things, let's say, about cloud computing, how the internet works, and other kind of stuff. So it is just a hint. There are many things that can be done in an online class. However, and this is very important, you cannot expect the same as you do in a regular class. Why not? Because you are having the screen and you are working with different tools that normally you don't have in your classes. Give me a second, please. So if you want to have a big impact, well, there are hundreds of tools that you can use, but you need to identify the proper use of each tool. So I classified some of the tools that I know with like categories. So the first one is instruction and modeling. So for these kinds of activities, you can have a Screencast-O-Matic, for example. With this tool, you record classes, you record an explanation or something. You have a puzzle, the one that you just used. It's very nice, easy, user-friendly to use YouTube videos to include questions about the videos. So you can explain concepts. You can check that students do not just play the video and forget about that, but they can interact with the video. There is another one that I really like, is Pear Deck. This is an add-on for Google Docs, for Google presentations. So you can have interaction with slides, for example. And you have another one, which is a Screencastify, which is very similar to Screencast-O-Matic. You can record screen and you can show students how to navigate tasks, apply strategies, or use a tech tool. Okay, don't worry about this. I'm going to share the presentation with you, and also the video of this presentation is going to be uploaded in YouTube. So in case you want to like go back and check, it will be available. I have another one for discussion. It's really important to promote discussion in your classes. Why? Because you engage higher order thinking, and this could be about text, videos, podcasts, topics, issues, current events, the thing that you want to share with your students. Discussion, participation. Students really they can do really amazing things when they express their ideas and when they share with peers what they think about any topic. So the tools that you can use, for example, Meet. Some of you use Meet in your classes, others use Zoom, others use Teams. Well, the one that you consider. And this is for synchronous classes. for asynchronous classes. So we have Google Classroom, Schoology, so you can assign task, homework, class preparation, revision of information. You can assign the videos that you record for your students. So when you have the synchronous class, you take advantage of the time clarifying information instead of just explaining things. And I really like this one, Flipgrid, which is a tool that the students can use to record short videos to talk about something. So this could be also asynchronous, okay? Collaboration. This is another important category. Collaborative tasks. It is not just to have you explaining things in front of the screen, but to assign things and let the students work on their own with the teams, with another person, with a peer. So foster collaboration and creativity by asking the students to work on shared tasks. For example, the activity that we just did, the evaluation, where all of us were interacting with the document. That was just an example of a collaborative task. Well, it was very, very simple, but you can develop a very complex one for students to collaborate. So the tools that you can have for this part is the ones for the G Suite. We have Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets. Well, the ones that we have there, the calendar. So there are hundreds of things that you can do with Google, as well as with the Office 365. There are also very interesting applications in this suite. So it's just a matter to find the right one for your group, for your classes, for your personality, for the one that you like, the one that you feel more comfortable with, okay? And there is another one that it's really important, assessment. It is important to consider assessment not just as the quiz that we have at the end of the class, but assessment also implies to check for understanding, check that students are feeling good with task, with the class, with many things that you assign. So you can use, for example, Google Forms. You can assign a survey because you want to see if the students are completing their tasks accordingly. Or if you want to have a quiz, also, it's also possible. Canvas and OneNote also have this option of having different kinds of assessment, quizzes or surveys. So it's your decision what to use, okay? And the ones that I really enjoy, and many of you know, maybe the Kahoot. I am sure that you all know Kahoot. So this tool, it's very interesting to practice and to have review. And I forgot to include the Mentimeter here because it's also used for that. You connect the students with practice. You can have fun. It is not just a killing time activity. You can use them to check for understanding, to activate students. You can start a class with a mini Kahoot, or you can end the class with a quizzes. You need to find the tool that you feel more comfortable with and have variation, okay? So just depend on you and what you need and the needs of your classes, okay? So important takeaways, it's that define a structure for your class. It is really important that every time that you have an online class, like a synchronous class, you need to have a structure. What is going to be the first part, in which moment my students are going to interact, what is going to be the assignment, what is going to be the objective of that specific class, okay? To have a clear objective, and the objective should be achievable. If your students know where to go, you will have really good results. Achievable, measurable, something that you can see the students can do, okay? Do not use many tech tools. We are having this virtual classes, but you don't have to be overwhelming. 1, 2, 3 maximum, so students can achieve what you expect from them, okay? Do not overuse the tech tools, and try to have variation. Try to integrate every now and then different tools so the class is smooth and the students are engaged, okay? Think of the outcome of your class. What is the thing that your students are going to do at the end? Could be at the end of the class, at the end of the session, at the end of the week. What is the thing that you want students to show you, okay? What will your students learn from the class? What is that thing that you want to see? So that is very important. And don't forget, it's important to assign collaborative work and activities where students can interact. Interaction is fundamental in online classes. Collaboration, participation, that is key. It's not the teacher time, it's a student time. So students need to have more time to show, to participate, to collaborate with others, so they can take advantage of the time with the teacher when they have, for example, the synchronous classes. And the ones that I really like, you can make mistakes. It's really important. Like you don't feel the pressure that your classes have to be perfect. Don't worry about that. You can make mistakes, okay? Mistakes are really, really, really important, because you can see what really works in your classes and what is the thing that it doesn't work, and you can change. So making mistakes, it's welcome, okay? So don't feel that pressure of having to like complete everything with the time and with the tool, and if the students do not connect, think of flexibility, okay? You need to relax a bit and well, see the positive part of your class and what are the things that you need to improve, change, modify. Well, those are the things, okay? So I think that was it. You have any question? Was it too fast maybe? Yes, I think it was kind of fast. If you have questions, please let me know so we can answer them.
Yes, I would like to see again the slides where you had the links, Kasuba quiz. I missed that part.
I'm going to share the presentation, of course. I have just the picture of the apps, but you can find them on the internet. They are like exactly as you see them on the slides, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. More questions?
I have, there was one question that Felipe Mican had in regards to one clarification he wanted to have in regards to when you referred to the tools you were describing in the second slide, I think. He wanted to know exactly who you referred to when you mentioned they. So I don't know if Felipe wants to ask you that question again.
Let me check my slide. They
Okay, hello everybody. Thank you, Jair. Thank you, Katie, for your presentation. Yes, yeah, when you were going like this through this timeline, presenting the important moments in the development of the concept of cloud computing, you were mentioning as they. So by they, were you referring to a specific group of people, to development, I don't know, conducted in the States? If you can clarify that a little bit.
Yeah, it was the DARPA. It was an organization in the United States, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. They, people in that agency, created this first project of cloud, or computers that are shared with other people.
Okay, thank you, Katie.
Okay, all right. More questions?
Katie, are you reading or do you want me to read from the chat for you to?
I'm not reading, I'm
All
sorry.
right, so I'm going to read for you. Juan Carlos has a question. He says, the dynamics of an online group of learners may be different from those of a face-to-face group. How would you develop group cohesion within your students?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. The group cohesion depends on the, I don't know, like how close you feel with students. In my case, I try to approach students not only with academic part, but also asking about their lives, how they feel, how they are doing, and trying to assign group work with different people, not like every time all of the students are working with the same people. So there are many strategies that you can think of. In my case, with my students, with my groups, I start the class, for example, like asking them if they already have lunch, what they had for lunch, and how their classes are going, and if they feel tired. And that time makes the students to feel more close to the class, and the cohesion it's like it's progressive. So that's something that I would do, but there are other kind of activities that or strategies that you can use so your students have this cohesion.
Right,
I would like to ask, oh, sorry. May
sure,
I
go
ask?
ahead, Professor.
Thank you, Jair. How are you? Okay, I wanted to, I have had a little trouble with, well, speaking, yeah. I like to make them, what I have done is that, okay, call your partner and speak about the topic for 5 minutes, 3 minutes. But I would like to know if there are other apps or something that help me, because with 20 students it's kind of difficult to make them speak, and that's the only thing that I have done to, okay, call your partner, and then I ask them to write on the chat what were your conclusions of what you were talking about, because of course in class, some face-to-face classes, sometimes they don't just talk, of course, in these cases. So I would like to know how we could do that more active. Oh, that's what I mean.
Well,
thank you.
This part of like not talking with others or in front of other people make them feel anxious and stressed and a lot of pressure. So I would think of Flipgrid, one of the tools that I showed. Flipgrid, it's very nice to use because students can record videos, very short videos, so they can express and they can repeat as many times as they want to have something like that they feel comfortable with. So Flipgrid is a very interesting tool that you can have. So you can assign one task where they answer a question or where they present their favorite movie, I don't know, and they can express and they can prepare and they can talk. And it is not necessary that it's in front of everyone. They could see others people answers, so they can check what others said, not necessarily at the same time. Okay, so that's something that you can start with, and you can do it on a regular basis so they feel more comfortable with the activity of speaking. And every now and then you could ask in the class, during the class, something, and you will see improvement little by little, baby steps.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Someone mentioned voice thread. Voice thread is another one that helps a lot, and it's not video, it's just audio. So you could also use that.
Carol, if you want to ask Katie your question, or do you want me to do it for you? I mean, like, yeah, you already typed it.
That's okay. I can ask. Hello, Kate. That was wonderful.
Hello.
Thank you so much for sharing all those tools. I just wanted to ask you like a suggestion for teachers on how to sequence that lesson. You know, what would go first? What would be advisable to use first, second, third? You know, just if they want to plan with the tools that you gave them.
Of course. I would start first with a very light tool, for example, Mentimeter, the one that you use at the very beginning of my activity. That Mentimeter could be an icebreaker for the class. Later, you can present a PowerPoint, let's say, a very normal one, where you explain or present a topic. After that, you can assign individual work, so the students can, let's say, disconnect from the session, work on the assignment. Later, they can come back, or maybe you can assign group work. Later, they come back all together. You can have a net puzzle, the video with the questions. And at the end, you can have a review with Kahoot or with the tool that you consider. Also, it is not, well, I would say something that maybe some people think it's not correct, but I think it is. It is not necessary to have every time sessions with students like synchronous. You can have every now and then sessions that are asynchronous. I mean, like you assign a task and you give the time for the class to develop that activity, and you can have individual interaction with students for clarification, like specific things with students, with different students. And then in the next session, you can come back and restructure the class and develop or answer questions, and so and so and so. So it depends on the group. It depends on how many people you have. So maybe you can have a lot of group work. So, well, these are the ideas that I come up with so that you can take with your classes. Some people say something here, let's say.
All right, Carol, you already have you're raising your hand. You want to participate again?
Oh, no, sorry. That was just tapping, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. All right, Jorge Vela, you have a question, or you're just like giving a thumbs up? All right, good. So anybody else has a question, or do you want me to read the questions for Katie? All right, so basically, I mean, like putting all together the questions, they want like a WinZip, like a really quick summary on the most useful tools on the one hand, and the most friendly users for those teachers who are not techie.
Can you repeat? I'm sorry, I missed.
So like the most useful tools you think of that you can recommend on the one hand, and on the other, the easiest tools for teachers who are not savvy or techie.
Okay, good. I have like 100 of tech tools in my mind right now. So you can, if you ask me like the best ones, for me, all of them are the best. Okay, but the ones that I think you can use more in the classes, for example, it's Puzzle, Mentimeter. I would say, where is the other one? Google Docs and Google Slides. And these two for beginners, okay? Because these are very easy to use with students. Well, the G Suite, actually the G Suite has a lot of tools that can be very simple to use for beginners. So for example, if you want to have a survey, the Google Forms, it's very simple, it is user-friendly. Sure, well, G Suite. The G Suite, well, the Google Suite, all the ones that you have. So you have a Google Forms. I'm writing there. Google Forms, Google Docs, Google Slides. The ones for the beginners, and the others are like Edpuzzle, the ones that you already work with, Mentimeter for the icebreakers, for example. Quizzes for a review, for example. So those are the ones that I think you can have as tools, like the basic ones. But there are hundreds. I could stop here the talk and start listing the ones that I consider important. So, well, it depends on you. It depends on the needs. Okay, so well, just explore. I invite you to explore. I'm just trying to find my presentation. So I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to share with you the link. Let me check where I have it. Here it is. I'm going to get the link. So I'm going to have it in the chat. Okay, so there we go. There is my presentation. So in case you want to explore the ones that I shared, there it is. Okay. More questions?
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
We know now that our students are not digital natives, but more like digital tourists. And we know that we need to build digital citizenship. How do you face the situation in your classes? I mean, how do you talk about this with your students? What do you suggest for us to start talking with our students about being digitally responsible or good digital citizens?
Wow, that is a really nice question. I actually have a session for that in my class. I have a session in which we talk about the use of the resource, with Facebook, about Instagram, about all those social networks that they interact every day with. And we talk about situations that they face. We talk about news that they see on Facebook, and many other things that they are like overwhelmed. And the results are really nice because they realize that also they make mistakes when they interact with their social networks. So I consider really important not just to mention, hey, don't bully your partner or be responsible with the information you share. It's important to have it explicit, show them, make them reflect, make them to like feel other people's feelings. Like, how would you feel if this and this and this and this it would happen to you? So make it explicit, like being responsible, and show them examples and show them what like the reality, and they reflect and they also cry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, here there is a question again. I would like to know what kind of apps are useful for, or if it is useful to use board games, and if you did use board games, how would you assess the use of those games?
Board games.
Yep.
Well, I would assess those board games in terms of interaction, or not the result, like who's the winner. No, I would say like if they are working in teams, if they give each other roles, if they complete the roles. And I would suggest to include rubrics. Okay, they can also evaluate their partners. I had a project in my class where they had to record a video, a tutorial video, where they teach their partners to cook, to open a can, whatever. And they designed their rubric to evaluate their partner's video. So the result was very interesting. So you can assign students to design the rubric. It doesn't have to be like very complex. You can be very simple with a happy faces. And if you don't like it, or I don't know, something very simple that students can manage. Okay. So you can think of many strategies. for the students to evaluate their peers instead only the teacher evaluating the activity, okay?
All right, here there is a very interesting question, Katie. We would like to know about like how to use these type of apps, or what type of apps could we use in rural areas where there is no data, where there is like students or teachers may not have data.
Oh, that's a really interesting question. It's challenging, okay? Google have the option to work offline. So you can have students to work offline with documents, and once they have connection, they can upload the work that they have. WhatsApp, it's another one that works very, very good. There are possibilities to share documents through WhatsApp. So you could actually you could share a Google Doc through WhatsApp, and you can ask students to work offline. So it's a possibility. It's the one that I just recall right now because the question is really challenging. I'm sorry, I don't have all the answers for this. I want to apologize. I'm working on that.
All right, no worries. We all are working on that.
Yes.
We are actually, that is the reason why we're working on these webinars, because we don't have all the answers. So we're trying to put together all the answers to make it all work somehow.
As many answers as possible.
Yes, and also it's interesting that the chat here is moving super fast because everyone is interacting. So they are not only, participants are not only asking, but also answering questions. So it's super interesting here, the interaction. And also interesting to see that this same interaction is what happens in a real class with the students.
Exactly.
So that is also interesting. Here, there is another question. How about tech tools for students in rural areas? Like, I would not understand clearly here. I guess that also had to do with the previous question, right?
Yes, I would say that.
All right. Offline apps for tablets and cell phones. I guess you already mentioned that. Google and WhatsApp, you can use them offline.
Only 60% adjusted. Yes, yeah, we have used WhatsApp to send the tasks. Well, it's hard. It's hard because all of these tools, most of them work online. It would be interesting to search more tools that can be used for or offline. Tools and learning tech tools and learning disabilities recommended tools. Ooh, interesting question.
Super.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
That could be like a master's.
Let me think about it.
That could be like a researchable question.
Yeah, actually, I have no answer for that. If someone knows that, raise your hand.
Share the answer with all of us. That is a very interesting question.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I have no clue about that.
All right. Yeah. That is very, very interesting.
Using radio, TV, guiding them with guides, and okay, that's an answer. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Walkie-talkie, I would say.
All right. All right. Well, once again, thank you all very much for attending this other webinar. This is webinar number 6. We still have program more to come. Next Wednesday, we're going to have Juan Carlos Torres. He's going to share with us also a very interesting ideas.
Very interesting.
So please do stay tuned. Visit Asocopi's website. Please visit the link for the webinars, and also please make sure that you do know about the call of proposals for the Asocopy conference. This year, the conference is going to be virtual as well. We all know, we don't need to explain the reasons why. Then we're going to have our annual conference. It's going to be the 55th. And then this year is going to be, for the very first time ever, is going to be virtual. So please make sure that you do visit our website, read the specificities for the proposal submission, and then please email us your proposal for your presentation for this first conference of ASOCOPY, which is going to be held virtual. The modality for this year is going to be virtual. Once again, thank you all very much for attending this webinar. Next webinar is going to be with Juan Carlos Torres. Please check the social media. We are going to upload there all the information with his presentation details. And then all the other webinars are already programmed. So just like stay tuned. Please visit the website. Thank you all for
This is going to be in YouTube too.
having accepted this invitation. Hi, do you have something else to say?
Yes, I have something to say. Somebody is asking if there is a chance of watching this webinar again. We have an official YouTube channel that is called Asocopy Colombia, so you can go there. So you can find the video there, or you can go to our web page. In the webinar page, there are all the webinars that we have had so far. Additionally, I want to remember to the audience that we have also our journal, How, that it has the call for papers also. If you have an article, if you are interested in publishing, you can submit to our journal as well. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you, Jair, for letting me say something.
No
Please
problem.
continue.
Well, for those who didn't know, Jairo is also part of the board of directors of ASOCOPY, and we all are working together in pro of all of us teachers, right? So as I already said, Katie is part of the board of directors, Jairo as well. Our president is, as usual, there with us. And of course, Jose Aldemari is the one who's pulled up all the strings for us to be able to have these webinars together. And so that's basically it. Once again, thank you very much. Hopefully I will see you again in a week time for the next webinar. Katie, thank you very much for sharing
Thank
all
you.
your
Thank you all of you for
knowledge.
participating. You were very good students today. Thank you very much for all of you who could attend this webinar. Okay, see you next time.
Thank
Okay,
you. Have a good night. Thank you, Jairo.
Thank you, Katie.
Miriam.
I just want to answer a last question that
yes.
Adriana Rico is stating there, and she's asking for the certifications. If you if you want a certification from this webinar for the attendance, you can go to our web page, ASOCOPY. You know, we are
non-profit.
A non-profit organization.
Yes, this is non-profit, a non-profit organization. However, we are asking for some collaboration, taking into account the situation and that we have to continue working. So go to the webpage and you get all the information from there.
Yeah. So we're asking for donations. That's all. So please, once again, I guess bottom line, visit the website. All the information is there. And please pass on the word, pass on the information for your friends, people who want to attend these webinars. Of course, it is for free and it is super fruitful. The webinars are super practical. So once again, I invite you to please share the information with all your friends so that they can join as well. Yes.
Hi, Jair, excuse me to interrupt you, but approximately a minute ago, I sent a mail proposing to Professor Aldemar the possibility to gather the certificate in a whole one, because as you have, excuse me, held a series of webinars, it would be useful and practical for us, the ones who are interested, to have a whole certificate instead of having separated ones.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, like, everything is possible. Everything is possible. So thank you very much, Marisol, for your comment. And yes, of course, we have already discussed your proposal in the board. So there is no problem with that. Thank you. And of course, you are more than welcome to contact us We all are there always. And of course, every single communication you write is going to be answered by Miriam. She's our leader in communications, but every single communication she answers is discussed within the board of directors. So thank you very much, Marisol, once again for that comment. And once again, thank you all for having us accompanied us today. Have a good night, and I will see you hopefully next Thursday. And I say hopefully because we don't know. Please stay safe. Have a great afternoon. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Katie.